Hello, this is Paul Mott, and today we're going to be giving a demonstration of Copy Monster, and we're going to be using some of the advanced techniques to create managed reference data. So thank you for watching, and I'm hoping that you've already watched our first video presentation where we walked through some of the basic concepts of Copy Monster and showed how to import some data from SAP and set up views and do some various operations. So if you've watched that, you have some understanding of what Copy Monster does, and hopefully this will make sense to you what I'm about to show. So basically the idea is that we want to have managed reference data, which means we want to be able to control what shows up in the drop-down lists. So as our team members are editing product data or master data, we want to be able to control what shows up in those drop-down lists. Let's just jump right in and do it then. So we have our data that we loaded up from our previous presentation, and it was from the SAP Gateway. So let's just have a look at that. And we'll look at the purchasing data here. And we see that we have all of these suppliers, right? So one of the things that we did with our view previously, we set it up to actually extract all of the unique suppliers that existed in this table and build us a drop-down list. Unfortunately, that also picked up some of the null and empty values because those are in there as well. But that pretty much works, but we don't have any control over it, so we want to be able to control that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually create a separate table to hold the suppliers. And to do that, first thing I'd like to do is create a new table type, which I'm going to call Manage Suppliers. And this is going to have just 4 columns in it. In real life, it would probably have more, but this is good for now. And I'm going to give it the supplier ID as the key name, so I know what is how to look up a particular row. So we'll go ahead and create that. And now we have this table type. I just want to change this to actually be a bit, and I want to change this to actually be money. And that's good there. Okay, so now we have a table type that will hold this supplier data. We're going to need some way to look at it. So let me go to my Manage Suppliers here, and I just want to look at all of the columns. So I'll create a view named Everything. And now I want to load this thing up with some information, and what I can do to get the ball rolling is go to my product data that I have right now. And let's create something called Extract Suppliers. We're just going to get each row one time. We'll create that new copier. And now if I look at this, I see that it did the mapping for me here of the supplier ID and the supplier name lined up just fine. For this though, I'm going to go ahead and put in a default value of just 0. And I'm going to put in a default value here of true. Okay, so now we have those default values. This copier is actually ready to use. If we go, oh, well, let's see, before we use it, though, I want to have a place to put this data. So let's go to our folders, and let's create a new folder called Reference Data, where we'll store this. All right, now I can go to my SAP products, load that up, and let's get our let's get our purchasing view here. And we have our suppliers, which I just sorted. So having them sorted will make sure that Copy Monster doesn't create any duplicate copies. Basically what I want to do is any duplicate rows in the copy. I want to copy this table, and I'm going to put it into my reference data folder, and I'm going to call this Manage Suppliers. And I'm going to use this copier that we just created, which will extract the suppliers from SAP products. So let's go ahead and copy that table. And there we have it. It's all been pulled out. Here's that blank one, which I really don't want in the list, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete that real fast. And now I have my suppliers in a nice separate table. And I have this flag that I can use to turn them on and off if I want to, whether they're enabled or not. So I'll leave that blank for now. And I'm going to go back here now and modify my table view that I had created for the table type product to look at the purchasing data. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to say, well, don't use yourself, use the new managed suppliers table. Okay. But in addition to that, I want you to use a filter and make sure that enabled is set to true. So we'll go ahead and save that. All right. And now then, if I go back to look at my table, SAP products, and go to my purchasing view and try and edit one of these, then sure enough, everything is still working just fine. And let's just notice here, let's say for example, Alpine Systems, that's definitely in the list, right? Well, what I'm going to do now is just cancel this, and I'm going to go back and change my reference data, and I'm going to say that Alpine Systems is not enabled. Enabled is false. So now if I go back and I look at my SAP product data and look at my purchasing view and try and edit one of these things, sure enough, Alpine Systems is not on the list. So I was able to take that off the drop-down list that people can use by just disabling it, and the filtering was able to get that out of there. But now, a bigger problem is, well, I've probably got lots of data in here that's using Alpine System, and it needs to get changed, right? So I have some invalid data because I'm not using them anymore. Well, what I can do now is I can actually create a validation rule to look for that. So I'm going to go back to my table types, and I'm interested in the product type here, and I'm going to look for the supplier name, and we're going to go ahead and edit that and edit these rules. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use something called set inclusion. So I had already typed this in previously. You can see that what we're doing is we're saying that the data must exist in the managed suppliers table. Look in the supplier column, and the filter is that enabled must be equal to true. Okay, so we have those rules. We'll save them. If I go back now and load up my table and look at it and put on my purchasing view and turn on validation, okay, sure enough, there's two that are invalid because it's not in the list of choices. And let's see, if I sort this, I see, oh, yep, there's Alpine Systems. That's not a valid choice, so they're not in there. There's another one. In fact, if I run a validation report here, I can go off and see that supplier name is not a valid choice. That occurred 9 times. So those are 9 things that I need to go ahead and change. So that's really pretty much it. You can create tables to have any type of information you want, and you can use filters to filter it. Oh, well, the other use case I was going to mention was that I remember I put in my table type here for the managed suppliers, I had created a max amount. So one of the things I could do is I could say that you can only use a supplier when the purchase price is less than a certain amount. So in this case, I would go in and I would say that on my type here, where I'm doing my validation of the supplier rule, see, I have something here. Let's see, what is the thing I'm looking for under products? I have the unit price. So that's the value I'm looking for. And now if I go back here and look at the where is it? Table type. Oops, I need to go to product. There we go. And look for the supplier name. There we go. And edit those rules. I could say enabled equals true, and the value of this, okay, is less than the max amount. Okay, so a rule like that could be used to have further types of filtering on either the drop-down list or on the validation rules as I've just shown. So that's the basic idea, and I appreciate you watching this demonstration. If you have any further questions, please reach out to me, paul@crystalworks.com, or you can always find me on LinkedIn or Facebook. So thanks again for watching, and have a great day.